Welcome to the 111 Approach podcast, your go-to space for deep thoughts, real talk, and exploration of everything from spirituality to self-development and the mysteries of life with some light-hearted humour along the way. I'm your host, Lakshmi, aka the 1 Minute Healer, and each episode will dive into different topics, sometimes personal, sometimes thought-provoking, but always authentic. So whether you're here for some new perspectives, inspiration, or just a fresh take on the world with a bit of randomness thrown into the mix, you're definitely in the right place. So what are you waiting for? Let's get into it. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the 111 Approach podcast with me, Lakshmi, the 1 Minute Healer. And as always, I start and end every single episode with gratitude because it is the most powerful frequency on this planet. So to start off with, thank you so much for listening, for being here. If it is your first time, why are you starting on this episode? Go back to episode 1 because that would make more sense. I'm only joking. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. But welcome. This is a safe space where we discuss lots of different topics. And today we've got another special guest on for the podcast whose name is Crystal, and very aptly named so. Crystal is the founder of Crystal Healing Lights. She's a spiritual entrepreneur and published author. Ooh. Crystal, thank you so much for being here. Would you like to elaborate and tell us all a little bit about what it is that you do?
Mm-hmm.
And then I will ask you a little bit about how you got into it.
Yeah, thank you so much for that beautiful, kind introduction. So I merge crystal healing with light therapy, and I do that in the form of products. So I will get a lovely sustainable glass bottle, pop a beautiful healing stone inside, and merge it with light therapy. And we do it in different forms. So we do chakra lights, pre-made lights, and an engraved one as well, for which is a giftable item, but it's a well-being product. We do crystal cards as well, astrology cards. And on top of that, like you've mentioned, I've published 2 books, one on a beginner's guide to chakras, and the other one is on love crystals. And I've recently just completed my own little short story of self-belief. And I've got some intuitive abilities on top of that, for which I'm developing at the moment, a psychic and medium skill set. So yeah, that's a little summary.
Wow, it sounds amazing. So this is beautiful because I think this is a really important conversation that we're going to have today, whereby you have obviously your own company, but you're also developing your skills set as well. And I think this is what I kind of wanted to highlight as well to people, that a lot of us hold back on doing things or starting things because we feel we have to have everything ready and we have to be the expert already before we actually put ourselves out there. But this is a beautiful way to show you that you don't need to know every single thing, because who the fuck does? Even these so-called experts, in inverted commas, and then I realize you can't see me because we don't do a video on this podcast, but we are all always learning, and we are all always developing and always expanding. So it's really nice to see people like yourselves who are taking that brave step into putting yourself out there and being brave enough to say, I'm developing my skills into these areas. And
Good.
I just think that's amazing, because so many people would probably do all the courses, do all the practice, and do everything and then when they feel ready to launch, would do that. But there takes, I guess there's a little bit of a balance, right? So you don't want to just put yourself out there initially and brand yourself as an expert if you're still learning. And I think
Yeah.
this is where that authenticity and that honesty and openness comes out. And with you, I feel that so strongly, which is so beautiful. And yeah, I just thought we'd have you come on and talk a little bit about your journey into your spiritual side and how you're navigating through, because I know you do a lot of content and you speak about it a lot on your socials, which is beautiful, because I love the way you're just so open and raw and honest about
Good.
how your journey is going. and not only the struggles, because I feel we do always talk about struggles, but also like the highlights as well. So tell us a little bit about your origin story, Crystal.
Oh, it is quite long, but I'll try and shorthand it a bit if I can. I basically was born with these abilities, and it's really, really cool because I feel like as a child, you're just more in tune with it, and it's just something that comes so naturally, right? And I'd go to sleep, I'd have these cool, really cool and vivid dreams, and it was just amazing. And I remember one day I just dreamt of school and certain things happening at school. And a couple of days later, it was like that same scene played out. And it was sort of like being in my head, but watching a movie and watching the movie play out. And I've just always had this ability. And I didn't think anything of it. But I basically, as well, I love my mum. So just buffering this. I
Hi,
love my mum.
Mom.
Hi,
Shout
mummy.
out to the moms, because you'll be listening, and so will mine.
But I grew up in a kind of Catholic Christian household, so very much kind of like spirituality, like anything to do with the tarot, it's like, oh no, don't do that. And anything to do with your palm, oh no, don't show anyone your palm. And and also like my mum had moved over from Bangladesh when she was a teenager. And my dad had actually moved over from Pakistan when he was quite small. So I don't want to go into the dark energies, but like black magic is a thing there. So I think that's why they were so scared of it. And that's why I felt that when I was a child, even though I have this interest in the occult, in astrology, and in all these different things, I wasn't really allowed to explore it. And also, when you're a child, and I was growing up in like the 90s, I was born in 80, people can be quite judgmental and things like that. And also, when you're growing up and it's like, oh no, that's weird, and I don't really believe in this and this and that. And I felt like I had a bit of a identity problem because I wanted to just belong and I didn't really have that sense of belonging because I'm a bit weird and wacky and I didn't really understand myself. And I think I blocked myself from my abilities because of all those reasons. And um, well, so I was
Sounds very
engaged.
similar to my story, so I can totally resonate.
Yeah, I mean, that part of it is tough. And fast forward some years as well, I was with my ex-fiance and, I think one night we were planning our wedding and we had an argument with my parents on the phone and that was that. I couldn't really sleep that night, but I had this really vivid dream and the dream was kind of showing me like I was on one side, he was on another, and it was like a Garden of Eden situation. And my mind just went, I wonder how you would feel if you went with, your partner. And like all the anxiety, all the stress that I was feeling, I was carrying in my chest and my head, like it just vanished like a puff of smoke, almost like when you did the Reiki on me, it was just like removed, it was gone. And the next thing I saw was like the sun coming down over Clapham Common in London, which was actually hilarious because giving back the engagement ring wasn't, and then everything unfolded as it did, and we weren't together essentially. He didn't want to continue the relationship. So that was tough. And I think that was really the start of it because I listened to my higher self. I listened to my intuition, and that took lady balls. I'll say that. Like it did. Like it was really hard.
Lady
Like
balls.
it took lady balls. I was literally like, what am I doing? Why am I everything I've like been planning for, like the ring, the wedding, my future and stuff like I was just simply saying, we're arguing all the time. Maybe we're not in the best frame of mind to be getting married, which I think is completely fair and valid. And people could say, look, you broke up with your ex-fiance because of a dream, but it's like, that's my intuition guiding me.
Amazing. Amazing. And can I just say, can we just pause for a little round of applause for you, your intuition, your higher self, and
Yeah.
the fact that you listened and took that leap of faith and trusted in something that people would be like, oh, it's just a dream, or it's just nerves, or this. But
Yeah.
you listened to your gut, and I want to applaud you because as you were speaking, I was like, fuck, I wish I wish I had listened to my gut intuition because I would not have got married. There were two major points where I was like, I shouldn't be getting married, but I chose
Mm,
to ignore it. So,
mm,
wow, I am in awe of you. And I'm so happy and so proud that you did that. And you should be too. So, anyone listening to this, I really hope that gives you that assurance of if we have that inkling,
mm.
just go and explore it, you know, sit with it and learn to trust yourself, I guess. Can I just ask, but when did that happen? Like, how long ago was it?
Uh,
How old were you?
yeah, so actually, that was a big intuition hit, but there were a few things that happened before that. But that was, we broke up in October 2021,
Okay.
and it was just after we got back off holiday as well. So obviously not a great thing, but I think now that I look back on it, I was ignoring the red flags, and I think, you know, I not to like I've made peace with my ex. I don't know how it is on his part, but I've made peace with it. And I think we're both good people, but I think we both ignored the red flags, and I also think like, you know, you can love someone, but ultimately it doesn't mean you're compatible and it doesn't mean it's going to work, and there are other factors at play. And you're both good people, but you know, you need to give yourself and your partner or ex-partner, whatever, the chance to grow and heal. And I realize it's tough for me to say actually that I was a reflection of his mother wounds and he was a reflection of my father wounds, and can 100% see why we would have come together. But um I needed to heal a lot, and I love my dad as well, but I have got his traits, the not so good ones, and I could see 100% that I was mirroring that in my relationship. So that's really hard to kind of acknowledge and take accountability of and responsibility for, which I've done now. So, and I'm doing the work, but in terms of trusting my intuition, like it's just something I had to do because I thought I don't think I can go on like this. And when that dream came, it was like that was the final nail in the coffin.
Mm.
Besides all the arguments and all the other things that was happening, it just wasn't right. It didn't sit well.
And that's it, right? Like, oh my gosh, everything you just said then, like I was like, yes, 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 because I've personally been in that situation with my ex of 7 years. Beautiful person with a beautiful family. And on paper, like even to this day, sometimes people are like, are you sure? Are you sure? Did you make the right decision? And now because I'm so much at peace with it, I don't get that. Should I have broken up with him? For at least a year and a half after we broke up properly and he moved
Mm.
out, I was still fluctuating. I was still fluctuating back and forth. And in fact, we even went on a holiday as exes, but as
Oh,
friends. And I thought at that time, and I was like, because we've done the work, like he worked on himself, I worked on myself as well. I thought maybe we can get back together and maybe we've done that work. You know, sometimes you
mm.
separate and then you come back together because in- um, it happens, right? In fact, his own parents had been divorced for 10 years and they got back together after 10 years of a divorce. And now, when you see them, you would never, ever, ever guess that they even had a separation at all.
Oh,
And I've heard it with some clients' stories as well. But anyway, for me, it was funny. At the airport on the way back, we had a conversation and something he said just took me right back. And then we had the same argument, the same kind of level of miscommunication. It was just awful. And then I realized, no, no, it served its purpose. We helped each
yeah.
other grow. We helped each other learn from each other. Same thing with
Mm,
the mirroring as well. So we won't go too deep on mirroring and reflection of mother
mm,
father wounds
mm.
or perceptions in this episode, but it is definitely a topic that I'm going to be talking about because this is what I also help people with during the coaching side of things.
Yeah.
About taking awareness and taking responsibility and also having that understanding because there's so much information out there when you start reflecting on yourself and start doing your self development journey. And also, then there's spiritual development. I feel like it's one in the same. Some people like the word self, some people like the word spiritual.
Yeah.
Again, with labels, I say to people, if the label doesn't feel right, change it. Because there's so many words that mean the same thing, right? So change it to a
Yeah.
word or a label that you like. But you hit the nail on the head there with the fact that you took responsibility and you have that level of awareness, which I feel like a lot of people don't have, but you can develop it. But it's if you want to, right? We see all this stuff online. Do we pay enough attention to it? I don't know. But I feel
Mm.
there comes a point where your soul kind of gives you a kick up the butt. And maybe that's why your dream was like, right, what else can I tell this woman? Because she's not listening. And it's like, how else can I do it? Right, okay, this is what I'm going to do.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. I'm laughing
No,
because it's so
please
true.
laugh.
I literally, I feel like the universe were giving me like sign after sign after sign after sign. And then it was like, right, this stubborn, irritating woman is not listening. We're just going to have to start removing things from her life. And I tell you, like me, that's what happened. Like
Yeah,
100%, that's what happened because it's probably really bad to admit, but like I was prior to that breakup, my I was having a really tough time. It was around 2021. And obviously, COVID happened. Like, we had to go and help in the ITU wards. I'm a children's nurse, not an adult nurse. So that was an experience for me. But that was quite tough. And then after that, in my nursing role, I just thought, I'm not happy. I need to shift my focus onto my relationship, and that's where the engagement came in. But I was also trying to find different nursing jobs, and it wasn't working out. And then I was like thinking, okay, so what makes me happy after I spoke with the psychologist? Because my mental health had like depleted. I wasn't in a good way. And also the funding came through for my asthma diploma 3 years after I asked for it. So I had to do my asthma diploma in the peak of COVID. So that was
wow.
interesting. But hey, I've got my asthma diploma now, so all good. But to give a little context to that, it was just like trying to focus on the good thing, and it was my relationship. And I feel like I pushed that. I wasn't in my right state of mind, and I know people may judge me for that, and that's fine. But I was like, what? Why are we waiting? Why are we waiting this long?
To quote Tupac, only God can judge you. So people can judge all the way. But then, actually, sorry, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent there. But it just come to me when they
Mhm.
say God is within you. So then that if only God can judge you, then does that mean we can judge people? I don't know. But
Oh,
anyway, we don't. Yeah, exactly. Interesting, right? No, but
yeah.
listen, people can judge, and we do all judge. Let's not pretend we don't judge. But at the end of the day, the only person that matters is you. So let people judge, let people say, let people do what they want. It doesn't matter because the only person that matters, and we judge ourselves more harshly than other people anyway.
Yeah.
And that's something we've got to learn to sort of be kinder to ourselves. But yeah, sorry for interrupting and interjecting there, but
No.
you're like me, things pop into our head, right? Hello, ADHD.
I
Hello.
totally get you. I totally get you. But I was just giving a little context to that is just that my plan was to focus on the relationship and maybe to go down the maternity route. That was the plan, and that's what I was aiming for in my head. So I think my guides were like, "No, Crystal, no, it's not going to happen this way. No, like you're meant for much more. Nothing, no disrespect to my ex, I'm just saying, but I don't even really think that relationship would have worked out. So I had my plan, and they were like, right, she's being stubborn. Let's start pulling everything away. Wasn't happy in my job, I'll be honest, because of like the whole COVID and all the dynamics at that point. It was really, really tough. So they're like, okay, you hate your job. I was really good. I'll say that. It's taken me years to actually admit to the fact that I'm a very, very good nurse and very skilled nurse. But I was finding it really tough at that point. But I was very good at my job. Wasn't necessarily having the job satisfaction then. And then things went down the toilet with my ex, and I was like, I hadn't lost my job, but I wasn't having fulfillment in that. My relationship was difficult at that point, so that had to go according to the universe. And then I also lost my home as well because,
Okay.
it was his place, not mine.
Yeah.
And I just thought, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this right. I'm not a half in, half out person. I'm going to move back home to my parents. I'm going to do the therapy, and then I'm going to look into this whole business type thing. And the business actually came about because everyone's going to have their perceptions here, but
Fuck
I'd
'em,
gone
it's all
to
right. Just say what you want to say.
Okay, so basically, I went to this psychic and he gave me a 5-year reading. And he's not allowed to tell you the bad things, but he told me this magical, like all the good stuff. And he said, I don't know what you go into, but you're going into something and you are earning so much money. Like, you're going to have a house, you're going to have another house, all of these amazing things. And I'm like, this sounds too good to be true. This is like, flipping a storybook and you're like, oh, and the girl goes off into the sunset with the prince kind of thing. So anyway, I'm just like, okay, so whatever I'm doing something else. And then it was said in 2 other readings that I would turn a hobby into a money making idea. And then a very old reading from maybe 2016 said, I see you working with crystals, researching them, finding out about their properties. And at that point in 2016, I was like, no, 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 I'm so into nursing, I would never do anything like that. And also because my name is Crystal. So when I was at school, everyone take the mickey out of me. Like Crystal Maze was the height of the program.
My
Like,
gosh. Yes. I love Crystal Maze. I still want to go. You can do like a
yeah,
experience, a Crystal Maze experience. I'm on it. Let's get a group together. Let's go.
I'll go. I want to go
Let's
because I
go.
actually haven't been. I'd love to go.
Okay.
But
We're doing this. Anybody
would
want to join us? Let us
exactly.
know. We'll put yeah, we're putting it out there in the universe.
so so I basically, based on that and my experience of school and other people taking the mickey out of me, which is what kids do anyway, I didn't really want to go down into the whole crystal healing and all of that sort of stuff. But when I thought about it, I was like, this makes sense. And props to my friend Sabrina here, that when I was at work in my nursing job, she said to me, look, your name is Crystal, you should be working with healing crystals. And then she told me a bit about like how if you hold them, you can feel the vibration in your hand and all of this. So actually, the idea had come from the reading before, but my friend Sabrina kind of just cemented it. And then when I was engaged, I was making decorations for the table and I was doing the lights and the bottles. And it wasn't until my friend said, oh, you should work with healing crystals, an idea went off in my head. And I was like, I should mix the crystals and the lights together. And then that's how it all came about. So literally,
Wow.
crystals, healing, lights, got my name in it, the word healing and lights. I mean, it was perfect, right?
Love it. That's so cool. That was beautiful, like that how that came to be. And when it's so effortless, then you just know, isn't it? Like
Mm,
when it just falls into your lap and you're like, oh my God, this makes sense. And it's that ping moment, like, this is it. And that's
yeah,
how you know it's soul led and it's like channeled and it's
yeah,
right. And it's like it feels so effortless. So I know that feeling because that's how I felt when the one-on-one approach got channeled to me in a meditation with my mentor. And we were like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. But can you just delve a little bit more into that light therapy you were talking about? So you obviously you use the
yeah,
crystals, the power of the crystals, and then
yeah.
just talk us a little bit about the light therapy, how you infuse it, and then what that kind of brings about for the people using your products.
Yeah, so it's funny. I didn't actually even really know light therapy was a thing. I didn't even know, which sounds so daft, because it was more decorative at that point. Well, I did a talk with one lady called Melanie Ashley. She has a yoga studio. She is beautiful. She was like, light therapy, light therapy. And I'm thinking, light therapy? What on earth is light therapy? And then she started explaining it to me. And then obviously with the crystals, I say obviously, but I'll explain a little bit about that. So you've got chakra lights as well. So you have 7 different chakras in your body, or at least they're the most common ones. There are more than 7, but we'll focus on the 7. And according to each energy center, you have a different color as well. So what I had done throughout the time period of like 2 or 3 years is align the chakra crystal and the chakra light together, working in a beautiful, sustainable entity, in which case is a glass bottle, and
Hmm.
making it more of a well-being product. So you can actually use that in with yoga or meditation or your breathing exercises to try and strengthen your chakras. So, and that
Amazing.
is how the two have come together. But I didn't
Okay.
actually know that was a thing from the start, which is so funny. But when things come to you, you don't necessarily know how or why.
Well, this is what I was saying,
Yeah.
because you don't have to have it always all figured out. As you
Mm.
start on your journey, as you start sharing your gift, if that's what you want to do, because sometimes, listen, not everyone needs to go and start a business. Sometimes, well, most of the time, your self-development journey and your journey back to yourself, back to your knowing, is for you. It's not for everyone, like there's a few of us here that are helping to guide and mentor like ourselves, but I have so many people come and they're like, they want to learn angelic Reiki or Reiki and some of the things that I teach. When I say to people, like, let me teach you, they're like, no, 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 I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this as a business. I'm like, it's not for anybody else, but just for yourself.
Mm.
Learn the basics so you can take charge of your own healing. And this is where I want to really empower people. But there's no pressure to go out there and now, just because you're on a self-development journey or just because you're on a spiritual awakening, that you have to now become someone who helps others. You don't have to do that. You're helping yourself is enough. That's the only
Yeah.
person you really truly need to help is yourself. And then if you then want to, you know, ripple that out to your inner circle, your nearest and dearest, your friends and family, what a beautiful thing. But there's no pressure for anyone to go out there and do this stuff professionally. Okay. I'm just putting that out there because I do get that a lot from my clients. Like, oh, I don't want to learn it because I don't want to do it professionally. I'm like, you don't have to. It's fine. So light therapy, that's I think a little bit similar to kind of like seasonal affective disorder syndrome. In the winter, a lot of people do
Yeah.
suffer from SAD because there's not as much
Mm.
sunlight.
Yeah.
The days are darker, the mornings are
Mm.
darker. So we don't have that light to kind of
Mm.
light us up, right? So that's where these SAD lamps come in to
Yeah.
place, and
Yeah.
why different. Like, I mean, my family are in the lighting business, so I know a little bit more about the effects of colors and lighting and frequencies, like warm whites and bright lights. They have different effects on our energy. This is why they say the blue light on your screen, it's designed to keep you active, your mind active. It fires off different areas of your brain to say, hey, 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 look at me, flashing neon lights, like things like Vegas and the neon cities in like Tokyo. Okay. It's all designed to keep us in an active state. So that's why it's really important when you go to sleep or you need to relax and get your body and mind ready for rest in the evenings. They say come off your screens for an hour before you want to go to bed, dim the lights, don't have too many bright lights in your house and your bedroom, especially when you're trying to get your body to naturally go to sleep, because it's all to do with light therapy and what is obviously activating our eyes and even our skin and brain, right?
Yeah.
So could you like let us know a little bit about how your healing lights either help with that or is it completely different?
Yeah, gladly. With the healing lights, the chakra crystal will be working in synergy with the chakra light. So you could have um, a a root chakra crystal working with the root chakra light. So beautiful red lights, and that will just help. They'll work together and radiate a beautiful glow throughout your bedroom, just helping to balance out that root chakra and get you more into alignment. Whilst you're sleeping, it will work. But if you wanted to do some spiritual practices, if you wanted to meditate, journal, connecting with your spirit guides, that's a perfect time to do it. You've just got the beautiful healing entities working in one beautiful unit in a beautiful glass bottle with a lovely ribbon.
So I guess what you're saying is you're using the different light frequencies and wavelengths
Yeah.
that correlate with each different chakra. So
Yeah.
not only getting the healing properties of the associated crystal
Yeah.
with each chakra, you're actually getting an added benefit because you're using the associated colored lights, which then emit out the right kind of wavelength and frequency associated with that root chakra. Could you quickly go through which crystals you use for each chakra, please? All right.
Absolutely. So the root chakra crystals are garnet and hematite. The solar plex chakras are carnelian and orange calcite. The solar plex chakras are citrine and pyrite. The heart chakra crystals are rose quartz and green adventurine. The throat chakra crystals are aquamarine and turquoise. And then we've got the throat chakra crystals, which are amethyst. I can never say this actually. Lapis lazuli.
Yeah, I struggle with that one as well. Some people pronounce it lapis lazuli. I suppose
Oh.
it's your accent depends on where you're from.
Do you know what
It's
I
all right.
mean?
We
You know
know
what
what
I
you mean.
mean?
The dark
Yeah,
blue one,
the
basically,
dark
with the
blue one.
freckles.
Exactly, exactly. And last but not least, then we've got crown chakra crystals, which are rose quartz and amethyst again. It's just wonderful and beautiful. I mean, I love it. And yeah,
Amazing. Is there anything before we wrap up, else that sorry, is there anything else before we wrap this episode up that you wanted to share with us and let us know what things are coming from the crystal healing lights?
yeah. So, well, I must say, first of all, I would like to credit you so much, like me, because we did an energy exchange and you provided me with angelic Reiki. And I gotta say, it just lifted and shifted so much of my anxiety, thoughts, pressures, and it was just poof, gone. And because of you, that then gave me the kick up the bum that I needed to finish my children's story. And it is called The Girl Who Found Her Light. And it's finally out now. It's a beautiful,
Yay!
thank you. It's a beautiful story of how this character, this girl, Cassie, is born a little bit differently. She thinks differently from her friends and family. You know, you have the challenges of life, not fitting in at school, like we spoke about, trying to make friends, going to university. And essentially, she finds a job, and that's quite challenging. But then the overarching theme is just believing in yourself and having the confidence and conviction to go for well, to go for what your, you know, what your thought process is, your intuition, to believe in yourself and carry that through. And when you do that, everything will start paying off. It's about being in alignment and trusting yourself. That is the overarching theme of it. I'm so proud of it. I got it done in 2 days, thanks to you and your miracle healing hands. Like, thank you so, so much. And yeah, it's my baby. I'm really excited about it. And I think it just comes back to trust and intuition, really. So, super proud of it. And yeah, that's, you know, that's that really.
Amazing. This is epic that you have brought out a book like that. And I know you said it was based on your experiences growing up as well. So that what a beautiful way to kind of not only take that energy back and immortalize it, but also use it to help others in similar situations. So proud of you for that. I'm going to leave the link. And not only for the book, but also for your healing lights and your website and your socials down below. So make sure you go and follow Crystal, support her. These make amazing gifts for loved ones as well. And especially if you've got young children, that book is going to be really, really transformational for them. So also, yes, we did an online intuitive energy healing for you.
Yeah.
And I think it was only a 20-minute session. I did give you a little taster
Yeah.
session, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I was really, sometimes even I get shocked by how much this kind of work helps others. I've had business owners come to me and say, "Oh my gosh, after your sessions, I'm just getting all these massive clients just fall into my lap." It was like, I don't know what we're doing differently. The only thing I can accredit it to is the regular sessions that I have with you. So it's, this is why I say to people, just be open
Yeah.
to however that energy is going to help you. Like for Crystal, obviously, you said that got you the motivation, the drive, the clarity, and you finished it in 2 days. That's insane. That's so cool.
Honestly.
Amazing. So with that, like I said, go and check her out. Go and give her some support. She's a beautiful being who is doing beautiful work. And I'm very honored to have you on the show as a guest. We're going to always end on a 1 minute meditation. And I think because of the theme of this episode has been showing, I mean, Crystal, you showed so much bravery, and I think it's very inspiring for others to hear how you went and just trusted yourself, trusted your gut, trusted your intuition, your higher self, whatever labels you want to call it, your guides, your angels, God, the universe. You took that faith and you trusted it way back when, you know? So that is something to be celebrated. And with that in mind, I want to do a 1 minute meditation to help the listeners and ourselves to come back to remembering that it's important and we can learn to trust ourselves. We can learn to trust our guts. So if it is safe for you to do so, please close your eyes, take a nice deep breath in through your nose, hold for a few seconds, and then breathe out through your mouth. And if you would like to, maybe place your hands over your gut. Make that physical connection. And I want you to take some nice deep breaths, directing the breath into that space, into your gut. And just feel the rise and fall as you breathe in and out, and really take all of your attention and focus into this area. And now I want you to say to yourself, either out loud or in your mind, I trust and believe that my gut and intuition will guide and steer me. I trust and believe that my gut and intuition will guide and steer me. I trust myself. I trust my gut. I trust my intuition. And just take another few deep breaths in and out into the gut area. Some of you may actually start seeing some colors or swirls, really connecting with this knowing that the only person you can really trust is yourself. So learn to connect with this energy, learn to connect with yourself, learn to connect with your gut and your intuition. It will never guide you wrong. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, hold, and as you breathe out, you can open your eyes. And I just want to say thank you again, Crystal, for sharing your story and sharing your work with the world. You are a light and a crystal, and the name is very apt. So thank you so much to everyone listening. Remember to rate, download, share this episode, share it with friends and family that you I think would benefit from listening to Crystal's story. And like I said, go and support her, go and follow her. And I will see you on the next episode. Sending you all love, light, and blessings.